was going to expose. Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other
We're on.
side.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. Boston, Massachusetts. Amazing Grace Sports Network coming to you live. I am Clay Morris. That is Kevin Grissom back there, looking dapper. His beard is all manicured and shaved. He has hair and a beard. I have neither. That's the way you can tell the difference between us. The young-looking guy with the beard and the good hair.
All these compliments, I don't pay him to say it either.
No,
He's
he
just
doesn't.
very kind.
And you know, we were thinking as we came in, what can we say that's happy about Boston sports? We sat here, we combed our brains, and he combed his hair while he was combing his brain. And we talked about what can we bring to the Boston sports area that's going to be happy, that's going to make people jump up and say, yay. And we couldn't think of anything.
No, really couldn't. And that says a lot.
No, yeah.
But we'll try to be somewhat positive, I guess, but we also have to be realistic and give you the truth. And, well, the truth right now in Boston sports world, not just for our Red Sox, but for the Celtics and their offseason struggles ahead.
New England Patriots.
Some issues internally with the Patriots, and, of course, the Bruins still with their issues. So if there is a positive story out there that you know of,
yes,
please call in
call
and share, because we'd love to hear that, and I'm sure many of our listeners would as well. But
please do. 844-249-5247. 844-249-5247. Call us.
Yes.
Immediately.
I mean, the show is not meant to be overtly negative, but unfortunately, as I joke with Clay off air, the sports gods, for whatever reason, have put the city of Boston in a bit of an ill fate recently.
Lots of gray and gloom.
Indeed. So we press on nonetheless.
Let's go forward. We must be troopers and just press forward and do what needs to be done. And we're going to go to Today in History with what needs to be done.
Did you want to do a prayer first before you did the Today in History?
You know what? We need a prayer. Definitely. I would like to be frivolous, but I won't be about it. Father God, look after us, me, Kevin, Kristen, and all our family and everybody out there who's listening. Look after us. I declare and decree in the name of Jesus that we will move forward in life and bring the gospel to everyone that we can, to live a life that's free of sin, to live a life that gives blessing to everybody who's involved with us. We hope to do that in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now we'll do Today in History.
Today in History. Today in History. Yes, today in history on May 31st, 1920, French driver Gaston Chevrolet, brother of Chevrolet Motors, Louis Chevrolet, the guy who started that company, he was accompanied by his riding mechanic, John Bresnahan, and he won the Indianapolis 500 without a single tire change. I found that fascinating that back then they had a driver with them, a mechanic. That probably cut down on their times.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, inflated their times.
For
Poor
sure.
guys. They could have done it a lot faster. They just had one guy. But for some reason, they had to bring a mechanic. Who knows? Anyway, was that feat ever duplicated? The one where he never changed the tire, never changed any of his tires for 500 miles. And if you have the answer, call us. Let us know at 844-249-5247.
I think on that is probably the mechanic. I mean, obviously the technology and the headsets and everything and all the pit crews. They didn't have that luxury back in 1920.
Yeah, I guess not.
Oh.
I would have liked to see the race back then.
Yes.
See what they're doing.
We'll see if there's footage. Anyway, we fast forward 22 years later to a different sport, and that, of course, the sport of golf. On May the 31st, 1942, at the 25th PGA Championship, Sam Snead beat Jim Turnesa for his first PGA Tour major title. Question is, how many tournaments did Snead end up with? And well, the answer is quite a few.
Quite a few.
If you have that number, if you're a golf enthusiast, and we've got many different types of enthusiasts here on the show, and perhaps if you're a golf enthusiast, you know the answer here. The great Sam Snead. How many major championships did
I
he
think
end
he's
up?
won the most in PGA history.
Well, if not, it's he's certainly up there.
Okay, all right. On May 31st, 1983, the Philadelphia 76ers, led by Moses Malone, Julius Erving, and the Boston Strangler, Andrew Toney, won the 37th NBA championship by sweeping, that's right, sweeping in 4 games, the Los Angeles Lakers. The question is, who was the MVP of that finals? Call us. We have T-shirts, we have posters, we have mugs, we have water bottles. Call us at 844-249-5247. And if you can answer any one of those 3 questions, was there anybody else who won the Indianapolis 500 without changing their tires? How many tournaments did Sam Snead end with? And who's the MVP of the 1983 finals? You can get your choice of any one of those party items.
There we go.
There
So
we go.
those are 3 questions for the day. I think we're going to do some commercials now before we continue to delay the inevitable and talk about the Boston Red Sox. So why don't we say hello to our friends at Karma.
Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to feel better, stand straighter, and enjoy daily activities without pain? Then look no further than Karma Don Yoga. As one of the more accomplished yoga instructors in the New England area, Karma embraces many different styles of yoga, including vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative, in order to tap into your pranic energy and create a balanced mix of healing, stretch, and strength. Find her and her very affordable classes online at karmadonyoga.com. That's karma, like good karma, bad karma, dawn, like the morning dawn, yoga.com. Hey, are you feeling a little achy or sore from the cold weather? Then take a visit to Dylan's Russian Steam Bath. At Dylan's Dry Sauna or Wet Steam Room, you can de-escalate, de-stress, and detox your body and mind. A hot place of massage or a variety of oil massages are available. You will enjoy the relaxed atmosphere that features a nutritious snack bar, large screen television, and comfortable lounge chairs to cool off in during your visit. They have 2 convenient locations, one in Chelsea and the other in Quincy. Find them online at Dylan's Russian Steam Bath or call 617-549-3484 for more information. To enjoy your best health, visit Dylan's Russian Steam Bath, where heat, steam, and water have a therapeutic effect. Yes.
All righty. 2 great sponsors here on the show. Dylan's and Karma keep us on the air each weekend here on the show. Again, the phone number 844-249-5247 for any calls today. And we're going to get into our discussion now on the topics at hand. And, of course, the first issue, well, why not? The Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
And probably out of all the negativity, if we wanted to rank where the 4 teams were in the negative scale,
Number 1.
certainly the Red Sox at this point would be our number 1. But perhaps you have other opinions. But anyway, the Red Sox winning, yes, that's a shock. They won. They won a game on the heels of a 5-game losing streak. They did win down in Atlanta, game 1 of that series down there in Atlanta on Friday night, 5-1. Lucas Giolito, strong outing for him. Trevor Story hit a home run.
Yes, he did.
That was great to see. About time. Really.
Just give us a hit.
Give us something. We weren't asking for a home run, maybe a single, maybe something. But, hey, a home run we'll take.
Yes, we'll take it.
And certainly contributed to the win last night. And, again, Lucas Giolito was strong. The bullpen backed him up as well. And really was a great overall win. Marcelo Meyer, who we're going to talk about, obviously, who's with the Boston Red Sox. If you didn't catch that last week, well, they must have been listening to our program because we've been talking about this for months on end, and they finally did it. They finally brought Marcelo Meyer up Saturday afternoon, last week, rather. And he's there. He made a great catch down the third baseline, a great diving stab. So we're happy to see him contributing, and he's hitting the ball well. And
I think he's a good third baseman. I think you can keep him there.
Well, it's for now. I think
now.
I think it's going to be interesting to see when Bregman comes back what they do with Trevor Story. And
That's right.
and we'll see what happens. But we'll continue on now. We have a phone call here. Our friend John's on the line. He's going to fire us up early this morning.
Get us, John.
John, welcome on in.
Lift us up.
Oh, be good if I turn the phones. John, good morning. Welcome on in.
Okay, I was going to say, have you guys noticed that quietly the number one starter on the Red Sox, number two starter, looks like it's going to be Garrett Whitlock. He's now 4-0.
He's in the bullpen, though, John.
Yeah, but he started before.
I know he did.
You know, he came up as a starter with the Yankees. And I remember I used to go to a lot of minor league games in New Hampshire. The Fisher Cats that play the Yankees.
Right.
They were called the Baby Yankees, the Trenton Thunder.
Oh, stop.
And I saw him pitch like a 3-hit gem up there when he was about 19 years old. So this guy's got some pedigree. I mean, who else is going to root for in that team pitching? Tanner Houck is a mystery. Bello seems like he's hurt half the time.
Well, Bayo's inconsistent. He can't get out of his own way. He only pitches about 4 innings. He throws too many pitches.
And then they yank him out after 4.
Bueller and Giolito have been okay. I said Giolito had a good start last night, and then of course you've got Crochet, and remember too, you've got Cutter Crawford on the injured list, and he hasn't pitched at all this year. So we wait to see from him.
Cutter Crawford hasn't thrown a pitch, has he?
No,
I remember last year he was.
Yeah.
He was a good guy to stop a streak.
So I'm not sure what the plans are to put Whitlock in the rotation. You're right. He did begin his career as a starter, and Garrett Whitlock has actually been with the Red Sox for 3 to 4 years now. And the issue is you haven't really seen him out there. He's battled with significant injuries.
Wow.
The past couple of years.
Elbow problems.
Yeah.
Elbow problems. That to a pitcher can be career-ending.
He's finally healthy, but
this team, I'm telling you guys, I can't figure which direction they're going to go, up and down.
It's mostly down.
You know, they go to Milwaukee. They look terrible in that Milwaukee series, by the way.
They did.
But they put up a good performance last night in Atlanta. Atlanta's not an easy place to win.
Yeah, but they beat Milwaukee. Beat them. They swept them, right? 3 straight.
They did, and the Red Sox weren't. The Red Sox were in control of most of those games, and they likely could have won all 3 of those games, and for whatever reason, just bad baseball.
Yeah, they love
bad base running. I mean, a ball hit to Christian Campbell. I know you're trying to win the game, preserve the game, and he throws a horrible throw to the catcher. First of all, the runner was going to be safe anyway. Go to second, try to get the double play. Exactly. It's a game of outs. Now, and then Milwaukee ended up winning that game.
And Kev, you just brought up a great point. You know who was running on that play? Gaz Cameron, who was Mike Cameron's son. He's got a lot of speed.
Interesting.
So they had no chance of throwing him out.
Forget about it, right?
I was watching the game and I said, "What is this? What is this Campbell doing?" Right. And he's really hit the skids the last month.
Well, the problem is, John, his manager has put him in the cleanup spot for whatever reason. Yeah, and has left him there.
Yeah, why? I mean, he's trying to bury the kid.
How I think about Cora.
Oh gosh, yeah, we don't need. But you're right about this guy Garrett Whitlock. He's 4-0. He's only 28 years old. He's only 28 years old.
That's amazing.
6'5".
He's been around. I think he's been Clay. I think he's been in pro ball 9 years. Because I remember seeing him pitch up in New Hampshire. He was 19.
Right, John. I want to give you the last word because you mentioned this last week, and obviously the news was of Marcelo Meyer coming up, and you talked about how the buzz was around Fenway Park. You're hearing a lot about that. Talk about what you've seen so far, and it seems as though Roman Anthony could soon be on his way. Craig Breslow says that they talk about it every day. Well, we'll wait and see what day that is that you do decide to call him up. But what have you made of Marcelo Meyer so far? He made a great catch down the third base line last night.
You think our street should chip in for a map for Craig Breslow from Boston and Worcester, and maybe we can get him here pretty quick? I mean,
I know a guy he could hire. I know a guy he could hire. I will hire the guy to drive him there and to drive him and Anthony back.
Right? Yeah, it just seems natural. They brought up the number 2 prospect. Bring up the number 1 prospect.
And they also got a number. What is it? Arias? Is he the number 8 in all of baseball?
The thing is, with this, there is room for Roman Anthony. You know,
definitely.
You shift Cedar Rafaela to a utility role, okay, The whole thing with Yoshida, I don't know what the deal is with Yoshida. I think it's possible at this point that he may not even play this year.
Wow.
You know, he's had more setbacks. Whether that's been deliberate or not, I'm not sure. He's on a horrible contract. I got nothing really against the guy, but he hasn't really come in and done much to improve this team with the money that the Red Sox signed him to coming over from Japan.
Exactly.
That being said,
Exactly.
you can shift Rafaela to a utility role.
Yeah.
Then you move. You have a core outfield of Duran, Roman Anthony, and Willie Abreu, and that's, I think, your core outfield going forward for many years. The question is, when has become now for Roman Anthony
Today
and Craig
Today,
Breslow for that
Today
matter?
should be when.
Today at noon. Today at noon.
Yeah, just have him up
Well,
there.
we said this. Hey, we talked about this last week,
And we talked about it
and
the week
Marcelo
before.
Meyer came up, and I think the Red Sox need any form of momentum they can to sort of salvage their season. It was a good win last night in Atlanta. I'm going to continue to criticize the manager and everything else. I don't see how
can't stop that on
one win in a tough place to play makes them a strong team. But again, it's a mediocre ball club. We all know it. And it's one step forward, two steps back with this team, and I will continue to hold the manager accountable here on the program for as long as we can, and as long as they continue to play the way they're playing.
And this is the worst thing I think.
Hey,
I don't
guys,
think they're a
hey,
I don't think they're a mediocre ball club. I think they're much better than that. They're just playing as a mediocre ball club.
Well, I might
Hey
just.
guys, I hate to cut you short. I'm on my way out the door. I'm going to the Northeast Sports Card Expo in Marlboro.
Well, enjoy your time there.
A baseball card show with over 400 dealers. If any of your listeners are into sports memorabilia, stop by the Royal Plaza Trade Center in Marlboro. You'll see cards from 1940s, 1930s, and cards of today of your favorite players. I'm so excited to go.
Well, enjoy your time there, John, and we'll report back next week.
Let us know.
I will. Thanks, guys.
All right. All the best. We're on John's time. We're on John's time.
The card show.
Well,
Yeah.
look who's dropped into the studio. It's our friend Bobby Books from WRL. Hello, Bobby.
Hello,
What are you
fellas.
doing here?
Well, you invited me. I said I'm not going to interrupt any of this, but no, I just
You're
wanted
here
to come in
now.
and see a true radio operation and two of the best looking guys,
Oh,
good looking
kind.
guys
You're
in
on camera.
radio.
Say
Oh
hello,
yeah.
yeah.
What does he
Hello.
what does he want now?
Hello.
He definitely
Two
wants
best
something. We're gonna have to
looking
get
guys
him
in radio.
something now.
What are your thoughts on the Red Sox, just quickly? Do you watch anything?
Disappointing. I mean, I just heard Clay say, like, I believe too. They're not a mediocre team,
No.
but they're playing.
No,
like
they are
mediocre.
playing.
You know, it's very frustrating to watch. But like all Boston fans, we have hope, and we live on hope. And I do love that third baseman, the guy playing third.
Marcelo Myers.
Yeah, Marcelo Myers coming in really contributed in a big way defensively and offensively too. And you think Cora should be fired? If you're the guy that makes the decision, do you move on from the manager?
Well, they better get out their checkbook because they signed him for a pretty big deal.
They're on for 2 more years.
They
He
got
got
him
a
for 2 more
3-year
years.
extension last year.
I like him. I've always, I know he had that hiccup there when he was out with the Astros and
Right.
stuff with that, stealing signs and whatnot. But I do like him, and he showed some. But I don't know. I mean, you can't get rid of the whole team, right? But I don't know. I think we have to see how the second half of the season goes. I mean, they're capable of going on one of those big runs, right? So
We sure
I'm
hope
not
so.
ready to give up on him quite
That's
yet.
good. All right.
I'm not
See,
ready
that's
to
some
give up.
positivity. We were talking about
That's what we
That's
need.
uplifting.
But, and
Yeah.
Bobby, I'm going to rain on your positivity with my take on the Red Sox right now. So here we go. I've already written it down. We're going to get it. I'm going to get it off my chest here. The Red Sox, the team that many locally and nationally picked to win the division, have boarded a roller. Yeah, they've gone on a roller coaster ride to mediocrity with no signs of getting off. Each day, there's new theories concerning their demise. Is it the pitching? Is it the hitting? Is it the running? The fielding? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, the result of this is actually the incompetence of management. I'm going to explain. The owner, John Henry, hired Breslow and gave him the reins to build the club, but he gave him no power to deal with the players. Breslow had a sit-down with Rafael Devers early in the year. And after the sit-down, Devers came out of the meeting and said he had a meeting with some guy. The GM, the CEO of the company. Devers called him some guy, as if he didn't know who he was. And maybe he didn't. And that brings another problem. But he had no respect for the guy. He didn't even know his name. He called him some guy. Breslow is Cora's boss, again, in name only. He has no power to do anything. Cora knows he overshadows him. He makes more money than him. He makes 4 times more money than Breslow makes. So Breslow really has no power whatsoever. And when he had to sit down with Devers, they had to bring in John Henry to sit down with Devers after Breslow, who's the GM. So the problem lies with John Henry. And John Henry is fiddling while his Rome is burning. He needs to do something about it. Somebody has to come in and get the ship right. Somebody needs to make some changes. He needs to give Breslow the power to do so. And if he gives Breslow the power, one of the first things he should do is fire Alex Cora. The second thing he should do is sit down Rafael Devers until Devers becomes a team player. Stop thinking about himself and what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, on what time basis he wants to get it done. The third thing he should do is have a sit down with the hitting and the pitching coaches and tell them things need to change around here and your jobs are on the line. Okay, that's not pressure, not in the sense, because they should know their jobs are on the line. But it's also letting them know we want results. We expect results, and we can get results if we light a fire on this team. The third thing they should do is probably almost the first one, is bring Roman Anthony in here ASAP. Cedar Rafael is hitting 220. That's no excuse to keep him out there. Get him out there. Put Roman Anthony out in center field. You can even move him. Cedar Rafael is a utility. When someone needs a day off, he played shortstop last year. He was great. He was fantastic. You can move him in and out when you need him. Him and Trevor Story are batting the same thing. So when Trevor needs a day off or needs to disconnect, as Cora said, bring in Cedar Rafaela. We'll probably get the same results. We'll get a good shortstop, but we probably won't get too much hitting. We will see. But those are my remedies as far as going forward. They could be done overnight. Give Russell the power to make decisions, to get things done, because as it is now, he's just a footstool. And that's what the players look at him at, and that's the way the manager of the team, Alex Cora, looks at him at. He doesn't have to really answer to him. And that way he can put Kristen Campbell, batman cleanup spot for a month when the guy's hitting like 050, and you keep him in the cleanup spot. And nobody can hold you accountable. Somebody should be able to hold him accountable. It should be Craig Breslow.
Burning me. It's burning me. The like, who does he think he is? That is not Boston sports mentality. You know, it's always, any of our successful teams have always have the mindset. It's all about the team.
It's all about the team.
What do we need? Who are you making the millions that you're making saying, no, I don't want to? Give me a break.
He not only did it once, he did it twice. Listen, I'm not going over the first base when Cassis got hurt. And then when Bregman got hurt, in the position that he was fighting for, that he didn't want to let go, he said, I'm not going over there. And wait a minute, listen to this. I got to come to this. Alex Cora, okay? When they asked him about going to third, here's what Alex said. Rafael Devers, I know the guy, Devers, is raking it, okay? He's the best DH in the American League right now. He keeps continuing to do this. He's going to be in the All-Star game as a DH. He's going to win the Silver Slugger Award as a DH. Where we are right now, this is where we're going. Did you notice that? That's the end quote. Did you notice he didn't mention team once?
That's right.
He went through Alex Cora explaining why he's going to keep Devers in the DH spot. Mentioned only about Devers winning Silver Slugger Award, going to the All-Star game. Nothing about the team winning, but about Devers getting personal accolades.
Yeah, it's crazy. Who cares if he's the best DH? Who cares if you're in the All-Star? What does it do for our subpar Red Sox?
Three games under 500. We care about you getting the Silver Slugger Award?
Yes. All right, you got me fired up now, both of you. I got to go do a show and be mild-mannered.
That's what we do here.
That's what
we have fair warning what was going to be on the show today.
We were looking for a silver lining in the clouds. We haven't found it yet, but we're still searching for it.
Yeah, Bobby, thank you.
Oh,
Good man.
Thanks for letting me
Come see us anytime.
Yes, drop in.
Yeah.
Now we got to go and get a glass of water. You got me all fired up.
We'll see you on the other side. WROL this morning at 10 a.m. on the Irish Hit Parade. Bobby Brooks. But Clay, I agree 100% on all your points made. And the Red Sox are losing a grip on their season. And after Sam Kennedy said in the offseason that this team is expected to win 90 to 95 games and compete for division titles, each year. Well, that's certainly not the case this year, and the Red Sox would have to go. I think I saw 68-36 the rest of the way to make it to that prediction. So I'll have more to say after this. So our good friend Wayne is on the line, so we're going to go here. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on into the show.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning,
Wayne.
Kate. Do you have an answer for the 76er quiz?
No, we don't.
Well, we know the answer, but do you know the answer?
Moses Malone.
That is correct.
That's correct.
But I do have a question. Would Bill Belichick get elected to the Hall of Fame when he's eligible with all the shenanigans that's been exposed and been going on around him of late?
I think so. I think he gets elected to the Hall of Fame unless something came out, and that he,
he better not do
cheated or something.
Totally
yeah,
egregious.
yeah, right.
I mean, if he doesn't do anything totally egregious, but and it costs somebody, their life or something to that extent. Yeah, I think he'll get into the Hall of Fame.
And it doesn't matter that he is going to be a coach in the college ranks as well. That has no bearings on it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, any coach that has won the amount of Super Bowl titles that he did as head coach, and people can make the argument about, Brady, Belichick, who was more valuable. That being said, he was the head coach here. He brought in the talent. He coached. He developed players. And he won all those Super Bowl titles. So,
and he won. I think he's second in games, only behind Don Shula.
Yeah,
so he's won more games than anybody else except for Don Shula. That alone, and the 6 Super Bowl titles.
So
it's going to get him.
Unless something, as Clay said, egregious or drastic were to occur, I think it's pretty certain that Bill Belichick will be in the Hall of Fame.
What do you think?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it. With all that's come to light about he did what he wanted to do, how he did it, I don't know if he had an egregious with Robert Kraft, what he did to the players. I don't know if those 2 championships that we lost, does he owe us something? You know what I mean? It's all of the above. I don't know. By
3 championships, 2 to the Giants and 1 was to the Eagles.
Right, and not playing Butler, and then and now that we've found out that he was seeing this young lady even while he was coaching there, and I don't know if he was cutting off his nose to spite his face, or does he owe the region and us and the Crafts and championship because of what's been come to light, how he does things? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I know it still hurts. It still hurts, Wayne, doesn't it?
I think you make a fair point, Wayne. I think it's clear that in his last few years, particularly his last year as coach of the New England Patriots, I think it's fair to say that Bill Belichick was distracted. He obviously didn't have Tom Brady. Clearly was a different mentality than he's used to, and I think he was distracted. Now, that being said, does that warrant not him being in the Hall of Fame because, he's in a relationship with a girl that's 40, more than that, his 40 years junior. But anyway, these are minor details. I don't think that warrants him not being in the Hall of Fame. I think for most, you look at, like in the MLB, it's a little different, obviously, with the steroids. That's a longer conversation, and that we can obviously get into at a different time. But that being said, in the NFL,
I think he belongs in there.
I think he'll.
I mean, the guy
he'll definitely
won,
be in it.
I mean, 11, 10, 11, 12 games almost every season. And I've been looking at these games over the past month. I go back and they got them on YouTube. And I mean, I don't like the guy. I don't even know if I like him as much as you like him, Wayne. And from what I can tell, that's not too high. You know how he's not that high in the team. I mean, we've talked about this. But they won a lot of those games because, Belichick was also a very good coach, not just because Brady was a great quarterback, which he was. And even in retrospect, you can see that. Brady's a great quarterback. But also Belichick, the formations, the amount of defense packages they have, it's unbelievable what Belichick was able to do when he had the team. And he was a good coach at that time.
Well, okay. Well, you guys convinced me. So I think you flipped me on that one. So, but and I think why they had the mechanic riding with the guys because, like you were saying, the lack of communication, the technology that we have today in racing, was not available then. And I know in Formula One, they used to drive through the countryside, so the mechanic was also reading the map to tell the driver where the routes were, where to go. So, but yeah, so it's interesting how it's developed over the years.
Yeah, they had a mechanic riding with the driver. I mean, around the Indianapolis Speedway. Just thinking about
because
it.
a lot of times back in Formula One era, Enzo Ferrari era, those drivers are losing their lives on the track and the road because they were going through countrysides. And people on the side watching it were also losing their lives because when those cars went airborne, they just took out anything that was in their path.
Right. Which is what happened to that guy, Gaston Chevrolet. Later that year, he loses his life in a car accident. So those they were very unsafe at the time. So hats off to them. And so you're going to get, what do you want? A mug? You want a water bottle? A mug? A poster? T-shirts?
I'll take the cash.
Good. You heard that. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a mug. No problem. Thank you very much.
All right, Wayne.
Have a great day, guys.
You too. All the best as always. Thank you. Great caller here on the show. Just a few more points to the Red Sox that I'd like to make. As I said, I think the Red Sox are losing a grip on their season. And I've said this before, the Alex Cora experience has come and gone. If you just look at his record as manager the past 3 years in particular, again, he's only won one division title, you know, in the year they won the World Series. And I don't want to take anything away from that. It was a great year, obviously. And I think Alex Cora at that time was needed for the Red Sox. They clearly needed a new voice in the clubhouse. And he sparked that. And they won 108 games, and they were the best team all year for a reason, and they won the World Series, rightly so.
And they won that without David Ortiz, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that was true. Yeah, he retired 2 years before. But anyway, they've only made the playoffs one other time, and that was in 2021. And I think a lot of people didn't expect that to happen. They made a magical run in the playoffs, and they bested the Yankees in the wild card, and they bested the Tampa Bay Rays, who were the best team in the American League that year. And they couldn't get past Houston Astros in the championship series, and that's okay. That being said, though, they haven't done anything else. They haven't made the playoffs, and any of those other years Cora has been manager, they have been under 500 with the exception of 1 year, 2019. They were 84-78, and they still didn't make the playoffs. Last year, they were 81-81. This team, for whatever reason, again, is one step forward, 2 steps back. And Sam Kennedy predicting 95 wins. That's a great prediction, and that much better than what they said last year or 2 years ago when Tom Warner, went out and said that, we're ready to compete, and they didn't make any moves in the offseason. So I'm not sure how you can say that and then not add to your team. But anyway, neither here nor there. The Red Sox 28-31 on the heels of a 5-game losing streak, a good win in Atlanta on Friday night. You take that, you continue to move forward. I said I don't think Alex Cora after that Milwaukee series, if I'm president of baseball operations, I don't think I let him on the team playing. I fire him there because that series was one of the worst series I've ever seen the Red Sox play, not just this year, but in the last few years.
And after that series, he said he was not worried about his job.
No, he's not worried about his job. I think Alex Cora maybe wants to be fired. Maybe he wants to be fired. Like some guy that is so just laid back and just doesn't care. Doesn't care.
Fire me, please. Fire me. Just looks like he's trying to get out the door.
Right.
I stick a rookie in the fourth. This guy never hit fourth, but I'm going to stick him in there for a month. Just for a whole month. He hasn't hit within the first 2 weeks, but I'm going to keep him there, and that's okay.
But it's all about fundamentals, and the Red Sox cannot. They just can't produce. Whether it's poor base running, defensive errors, inconsistency from the pitching staff, inconsistency from their offense. Trevor Story, Cedar Rafaela, we've talked about those guys being inconsistent. The Bregman injury obviously hurt you regardless of where you are. Regardless of the Red Sox are 28-31. Regardless of the Red Sox, are at the top of the American League East. Regardless if they're at the very bottom. That injury hurts you in more ways than one, regardless of where you at, with the way he was contributing. And now, with where the Red Sox are right now, hurts them, of course, even more.
But I see a silver lining in that. Okay. The Bregman injury.
Go ahead.
The fact that they got Marcelo Meyer up into the big leagues. And then when Bregman comes back, they're more than likely going to move him to shortstop. And he'll be here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think
he'll be there and they'll get that done. So if they can get a little run going, a little momentum, a little juice,
Right.
to spring them up, when Bregman comes back and everything's working good, they can have the push they need to go into the playoffs and go far. They still could get this done.
Well, and then of course the bungling of the Devers situation,
gosh.
not handling him well, the fact that the owner had to fly out to Kansas City to talk to him, and still that wasn't good enough.
And still wasn't good enough.
Correct. And the fact that, and this is no disrespect to Rob Refsnyder, I actually think Rob Refsnyder has been a real positive force for the Red Sox the past couple of years. He's been a bench guy, but every time they've asked him to contribute, he has. He came out and said, we stink, and the fact that it takes a utility guy like Rob Refsnyder to come out and say that. Where are these other guys, these other so-called leaders of the team? Why are they not saying that? And I don't want to hear, well, they don't have Tristan Casas. I don't care. Tristan Casas, I'm all set with, okay? Yeah. I don't think Tristan Casas is as good as people think he is. I really, really don't. He's inconsistent at the plate. He's a bizarre character off the field. I'm all set with Tristan Casas. The Red Sox should trade him away immediately. I don't think he is the future of the Red Sox, and especially at the first base position. The Red Sox don't have a guy, with the exception of Rafael Devers, that is going to go out there and hit 35 to 40 home runs a game. Last time we had that was, let's see, a couple of guys. One, J.D. Martinez, and this other guy plays for the Dodgers too. This guy, oh, yes, right, Mookie Betts, right. Yeah, the Red Sox had him at some point, right? They did, but they didn't want to pay him. He wasn't that good. He didn't deserve all that money. He wasn't that. He just helped win a world championship for the Red Sox and win an MVP and do everything else, but he wasn't worth all the money. One of the worst trades the Red Sox ever could have done. Replacing Dave Dombrowski with Chaim Bloom was criminal, was absolutely criminal, and it's something that we can never forget. And I don't want to hear about how Dombrowski gutted the farm system. Some of those guys that they traded for, particularly in the Sale trade, to bring Chris Sale in. Without Chris Sale, I know his injury problems, but he was the last guy. He was the pitcher that struck out Manny Machado to win the World Series in 2018 and just became one of the fastest pitchers to get to the 2,500 strikeout mark. Man, why can't we get players like that? Well, we did it one time when we had a general manager in a front office that actually cared about winning baseball games, actually cared about the future and stability of this Red Sox organization, instead of just trying to build from within and trying to look at what other teams in smaller markets are doing. Just because it works in Baltimore and it works in Arizona and sometimes it works in Tampa Bay and Oakland at time, well, not Oakland anymore, but wherever they're going to be playing, doesn't mean it works in Boston. And time again, particularly in the last 3 to 4 years, it has not worked. We need to stop with this trying to build within. We have all the money. Get some veterans in here. The only time the Red Sox have won the World Series, Clay, have been in the recent years, have been with a veteran presence. You look at the 2013 team, you look at the 2018 team. This team on paper right now is years away from competing, let alone winning a World Series. And until they realize that, and bring some guys in that know how to win and have won, this team is not going to go anywhere. And I said this before, I'm willing to give Breslow a pass because of what he did with Crochet and Bregman, but my patience is wearing thin with him so long as he continues to let Alex Cora be this manager, and so long as they continue to let this charade go on with an inconsistent team, year in and year out.
But Kevin, Breslow is only Cora's boss on entitled only. I don't think he has the power to do anything. And Cora doesn't want to do anything. Cora's enabling Devers. Cora's enabling all the bad behavior on the team and everything that's the nonchalantness. We'll get to it when we get to it. There's no motivation. There's no readiness. But that's Cora's doing. But I don't think Breslow, and that's the problem that I'm alluding to. I don't think Breslow has the power to reel him in. He doesn't have the power to say, hey, listen, hey, Alex, this is what I want to happen, or else you will be looking for another job. I don't think he has that power.
The problem is ownership is, for whatever reason, infatuated with Alex Cora.
Yeah, they are.
They're absolutely infatuated with him. And that's prime example of not being fired. I argued the past 2 years was cause for firing.
Security.
They fired him because they had to, because of the sign stealing thing after he was suspended for a year. They brought him right back. With not really an interview process. Don't give me this, they interviewed other people. There was no interviews, okay? There was no interviews. It was clear as day who they wanted to bring back, and that was Alex Cora.
And now he has the power, and he's wielding it like a guy who's in a candy shop drunk on the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stop himself, and that's the reason why he can make all these moves. Why is Devers, if he's your best hitter, why is he batting second? Put him on fourth. and do some shake up things. But he won't do it, and nobody can question anything he does, no matter what happens. He still gets away with doing it without having to explain the reason why he's doing it. Okay, so this is the problem that management is having, and it all comes back to John Henry. John Henry, you got to enable Breslow. I'll tell you what, bring me in as your hammer. Hire me. I'll come in there. I'll fire Alex Cora tonight. Okay, I'll bring Roman Anthony up. I'll tell these guys they need to start getting it together. The pitching and the hitting coach. You need a hammer. You're gonna have to let Craig Breslow be your hammer. Somebody's got to bring some force to this team and tell them that the time is now. As Kevin was saying, when is now?
No doubt about it. That's all I can say. We can continue to pick holes at different, problems with this Red Sox team right now. We'd be here all day because there are several things that we can get into about.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're not the only ones who were disappointed. Call in 844-249-5247.
And I'd like somebody to call in. If you believe we're wrong and you're a supporter of Alex Cora, you have every right to do that. But I would like to have a conversation with you about why you believe Alex Cora should remain as the manager. And I'd like to hear the pro Alex Cora side. In your opinion, why should Alex Cora remain as manager? What have you seen differently than we have seen in the past, not just this year in the games they played, but in the past 4 years? What have you seen differently than what we've seen?
That would be interesting. I would like to hear that conversation.
And we can have a little debate on it.
Yes.
Because I'd like to know. Because you look at every other network, everyone's talking about this. Alex Cora's job security. And if they drop the next 2 games in Atlanta,
gosh,
I'm not sure what's going to happen.
He'll still be here. And that's going to be a topic for that time, at that time when it comes. But let's do Oyama investments. We need to.
Yes. So, again, the Red Sox continue their series down in Atlanta, 4:10 this afternoon. Walker Buehler on the mound, and Red Sox looking for 2 in a row.
Come on, Walker. Get it done.
One step at a time. We'll see what happens. But, yes, want to say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments, along with our other great sponsors here on the show. They do keep us on the air each and every weekend here. We want to thank them for all they do. And if you're looking for a dream home, smart investment, well, say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments, where your dreams do find a foundation. They're more than just your real estate friend. They're your trusted partner, Clay, and helping you build a secure future, whether you're investing, in a property that'll grow with you, purchasing your dream home, or anything else. They make the process easy, transparent, and rewarding as well. Oyama Investments specialize in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals. Imagine owning a piece of the future, whether it be a luxury apartment, a commercial space, or a family home in the perfect neighborhood. And if you're new to the real estate investment world, don't worry. They're here every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. With real estate prices rising, there's never been a better time to invest. If you're ready to see your dreams come to life, visit www.oyamainvestments.com. Give them a ring, 617-221-8881 today, where your vision becomes reality. That's our good friends at Oyama Investments.
Here we go.
Alrighty then. We got about 10 minutes left here on the show here on this Saturday morning. And by the way, we didn't mention too, A, it's raining, which is a shock on a Saturday. And B, it's our final show here in the month of May. We can believe it.
Goes so quickly.
We'll be in June coming up, and hopefully some nice weather, and hopefully no more rain, at least on the weekends. Clay, each and every Saturday.
Into each life, a little rain must fall.
Indeed. All right, then I'll let you handle that with the computer. But anyway, the NHL playoffs coming to their final stop here. The Stanley Cup final is upon us, and little deja vu, a rematch of the 2024 Stanley Cup final. We have the Edmonton Oilers from the West and the Florida Panthers from the Eastern Conference. Florida back in the Stanley Cup final for the 3rd season in a row. Coach Paul Maurice has done a tremendous job ever since they beat the Bruins in the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup final, the first round, and of course beating the historic Boston Bruins team of that year. And the foot has been on the gas ever since. And looking for their second Stanley Cup in a row. Of course, they third straight trip to it, and of course, a rematch from last year when the Panthers were up 3-0 in that series, and Edmonton came storming back, won the next three, went to Game 7, and obviously Florida winning last year. But Edmonton was in, and I for everything, we want to be transparent here on the show. I took Dallas in that series because I thought Dallas had a really great showing, obviously, against both Colorado and Winnipeg, two strong teams. But Edmonton was in control of that series throughout.
Totally.
There's no doubt about it. And they've been really controlled the playoffs all year. And, the regular season, just because you don't have the best record, like Winnipeg did in the West, doesn't mean that your team isn't strong. And this team is talented. Connor McDavid came alive in that semifinal round, and now he's leading his team back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, the Florida Panthers, with the addition of Brad Marchand, they finished third in the Atlantic Division this year. It doesn't matter. They've been in this situation before. They dispatched Tampa, Toronto, and Carolina to get here. And with Tkachuk and Brad Marchand, things are obviously working. And I think it's going to be a really great series. I think it's good for hockey. As I mentioned before, we really don't see a lot of rematches, Clay, in sports for finals.
Yeah.
But here we are now with the Panthers and the Oilers, and obviously I think two of the best teams in the league with more than two great players, a lot of great players on both teams.
On both sides.
I still believe Connor McDavid the best player in hockey, but a rematch here, and for the Oilers, they're hoping not to go down 3-0 again and have to come back and tie that series up for Game 7. They're hoping to be up 3-0. And
what do you think?
I think it's going to go at least 6 or 7 games. I think these teams are well coached, evenly matched, balanced. I think it's going to be a great series, and I'm not shocked that both these teams are here. Looking at that, both the Eastern and Western Conference.
Which one do you think is going to?
Oh, you want me to pick a team?
Yes.
I think the Panthers are going to repeat.
Woo!
I'd like to see Brad Marchand win another cup.
I would too. But I think Edmonton's going to take this one.
There we go again. Just doing it just to go against me. We all know that. Then he'll say when if Edmonton does win the cup, then he'll say, "Well, I knew all along they were going to win the cup." Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Leon. They've got some players on Edmonton.
Yeah, Draisaitl. Yeah.
Yeah, Draisaitl.
Yep.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you got that one out of the Draisaitl there. The guy Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he has 13 assists, 18 points. Draisaitl has 25 points. McDavid has 26 points. This is all in this playoffs.
Right.
Okay. These guys they're a dynamo. Right. I mean, they're going to be hard to keep away from the goal. And I know they got Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers, and he's a great goalie. But I've never seen anybody skate as fast, like I saw Connor McDavid the other day on the breakaway goal. They just came off, and somebody just shot it up to him, and he turned on the dime and shot up the ice. And at his size, was able to outmaneuver the goaltender, not hit the net, not hit the boards, and stay on his feet.
And remember, Clay, in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs this year between Edmonton and the LA Kings, LA was up 2-0 in that series against Edmonton, and Edmonton ever since then has, despite stumbling out of the gate per se, has been almost unbeatable. They only lost one game to the Knights. They played the Golden Knights. I said the Winnipeg Jets earlier. It was Vegas, and then obviously one game to the Dallas Stars. So they've been unbeatable. They've been, I think it was, they're looking at this 6-1.
I think they've hit the stride.
6-1 at home, and Florida actually plays a lot better on the road at 8-2 on the road. So it's going to be a really great series. Looking forward to it. Two physical teams. Puck drops Game 1 Wednesday evening in Edmonton. And that's, by the way, talk about a distance of traveling. From Edmonton, Alberta, down to Sunrise, Florida.
Yeah.
That's a long way to travel. And particularly when that game, the first 4 games, 2-2, 2 at home, and then for the home team, then they go to Florida.
It's like one tip to the other.
And then when you get to 5, 6, 7, that's back and forth.
Forget about it.
So it's a lot of traveling for a lot of mileage for these teams, but
so
they've been here before.
You're taking the Panthers.
I'll take the Panthers.
I'm taking Edmonton. And Edmonton has not won the Stanley Cup in 35 years.
Yes.
That's right. Not since they had Mark Messier, Jerry Curry, Glenn Anderson, Issa Tikkanen. And I think they're ready for it. I think they're ready for it this year. So though my sentimental favorite is Florida because of Marchi, the Rat. Love him. I think this is Connor McDavid's year. I really do.
Well, there we go. It's going to be a great, great Stanley Cup. And again, not surprised that these two teams are back at it again. And Edmonton looking for some revenge
Some
from
payback.
last year. Some payback. Yes, indeed. Anyway, in the 5 minutes we have remaining on the show, we'll talk about the NBA. The Western Conference final and champion is done, crowned. Oklahoma City obviously dispatching Minnesota in 5 games. And with the exception of Game 3 of that series, Oklahoma City really in control of that series and just in control again throughout the playoffs and throughout the regular season. Not a shock that they ended up being the Western Conference champions. Now, the East is a little bit interesting. Despite being up 3-1, the Knicks have stormed back. We have a 3-2 series lead. The Pacers looking to close it out tonight, Saturday night at 8 o'clock, back in Indianapolis tonight. Clay, I take the Knicks just because of the momentum. I still take the Knicks. You took the Pacers. What do you think? What have you seen in the series in the last couple of games?
Wow. I thought New York was dead. I really thought they were dead. I thought they were dead in the water, even going back home. I thought they were full. There was questions whether Karl Anthony Towns was going to play because he had bad knees. His knees are worse than mine. I don't even see how this guy gets up and down the court. You can see that he's in pain just running up and down the court. Sometimes he's gutting it out. I got to give it to New York for gutting. I mean, they are the ultimate guys as far as, there's no quitting them. They should have lost on what was it, yesterday, 2 days ago. They should have lost, but they won. And now they're going into Indiana. If they win there, all bets are off. They can go into to win 3 straight is going to be the hardest thing that someone could do, but they'll have a chance to do it. But I'm still rolling with Indiana. I believe they are going to find the championship DNA in this very next game because they're going to have to, pull it out. I mean, it's okay to play. It's okay to be that team that's the upstart team, but eventually you're going to have to assume your role as the team as the dominant team. And I believe that they're going to go out and do that tonight.
Well, we'll see. I think if I'm in the NBA marketing department, I really want a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden.
Oh man, ticket
with
prices.
all those celebrities, all the ticket prices, and the Pacers have not lost back-to-back games in the playoffs yet this year. They had a really tough Game 5 the other night, and I wasn't surprised that the Knicks won that game. The shooting percentage was off. I think the starters combined for just 37 points, which is the second fewest by a team in the playoffs, and they coughed up at 20 turnovers. Their most of the postseason. They scored less than 100 points for the first time this year in the playoffs as well. So an off night for them in Game 5. They're looking to rebound and head to the NBA Finals. I think regardless, Clay, whoever it is, whether it's the Knicks, whether it's the Pacers, I took the Knicks just because of their resiliency and their momentum. Again, going in, beating the Celtics. Yeah. And the Pacers, they had an easier, I guess, test, the way you look at it, between Milwaukee and Cleveland.
They just ran them out.
They dispatched them with ease.
Ran them out of there.
That being said, I think whoever plays Oklahoma City is in for trouble. I think Oklahoma City is going to win the NBA championship. But we'll see what happens. Give me the Knicks to win Game 6 tonight. Head back to New York, Game 7, and Game 7 would be on Monday night at 8 o'clock at Madison Square Garden. If the Knicks can continue to survive and hang on and get back home for Game 7.
You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to give a picture show here. Now, this is Gaston Chevrolet, the guy who won the Indianapolis.
That doesn't have to do with the NBA.
No.
You're backtracking.
I'm just trying to give our listeners and our viewers something visual here.
Good.
Sam Snead right there. He was our second Today in History guy. And this guy here is, 76 is Dr. J, Moses Malone. And as you know, he was the Finals MVP winner. There was Craig Breslow, the guy that we've been talking about, who needs more power. And our friend Alex Cora, the guy that we've been talking about.
And we'll continue to talk about. Yeah.
just to know that, we have this on file for you. And we want you guys to see that we are working hard to give you visuals.
So we'll see. The Red Sox continue to, take one day at a time, I guess, with them. And the NBA Finals looking to start up soon. The NHL Finals, Stanley Cup Final. Starting up on Wednesday, and in the final 30 seconds, when are we going to start Patriots talk? I think we're getting there. Clay thinks it's too early, but maybe someday.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh, yeah. Some controversy there.
Stephon Diggs. We're already talking about the Patriots. And I don't know if we want to, but we're already talking about them.
Everybody have a great weekend. And, hey, we'll see you in June next week.
See you in June.
Take care.
Ciao.
Everybody get exposed. Pray for all my foes, but it's the narrow road.